Are you scared to look at your to-do lists? Are you wearing a little too many hats? Are the startup executives giving you even more tasks every single day? Well, don't worry, because with this one simple technique, you can avoid burnout, finish your tasks, and keep your bosses happy all at once. Hi, I'm Ria, a communications lead at a rising Y Combinator startup. On this channel, we're going to explore how to excel in our startup careers by networking within the company, developing best work habits, and upgrading our skills. My tea of the day is Ahmad Tea Strawberry Sensation, which is a strawberry flavored black tea. Today, we're going to be talking about the main tool introduced in the book, Make Time by John Zeratsky and Knapp. And this tool is called a highlight. So what is a highlight? I personally think this is a genius solution because if you're anything like me and you're doing so many different tasks in your startup, doing everything from marketing to sales to interviewing employees to writing some website things to I don't even know what else, then you might be scared to even take a look at your to-do list. I purchased a Todoist membership a few months ago when I first started my job, and I thought, oh great, I'm gonna be organized all the time with this great piece of software, but to be honest with you, I haven't opened it in over a month because every time I opened it before, it would just give me a huge bout of anxiety and prevent me from getting anything done because I would see all of these tasks with all of their different due dates, some of them overdue, and I would panic and I would close it and I would start depending on my monkey brain to remember my tasks. I knew that I needed to find a different way of doing things. To-do lists weren't working. Well, here comes Make Time and its genius solution. If you have seen my video on perfectionism, this might sound familiar. Taking things one step at a time and starting out really small. This is what the authors of this book call a highlight. A highlight is one task or project that is going to be the focus of your day. So if anybody asks you, what was the main thing you got done today? Or if you could only do one task in that day, what would that be? And it can be anything from a work task like finishing a presentation to being something like grabbing dinner with friends after work. There are 3 ways to choose your highlight based on what is the most urgent, what would bring you the most satisfaction, or what would bring you the most joy. I would also say that another way to define your highlight and define multiple highlights at once is during your meeting with your boss, whether that be a co-founder or a manager or anybody else, try to figure out what are the main priorities of the business at that point and how you can serve them best. Usually in startups, we're very much strapped for resources and we really have to focus our energies on what will benefit the company the most. So try to figure out what the company priorities are and take that into consideration when you're developing your highlights. The authors suggest that you choose a highlight that takes anywhere from 60 to 90 minutes because after that you might get burned out. Less than that, you might not really get focused. So that is the ideal zone. And you can batch multiple small tasks into one highlight. So your highlight for one day a week might just be catch up on email. Okay, yes, this sounds great in the abstract, but what are the techniques for actually implementing this? Well, the first one would be to just write it out on a sticky note and then put that sticky note somewhere visible when you work. I would suggest putting it right next to your desk or maybe on the back of your laptop. You can also create a digital database like I did here in Notion and put in your daily highlight every day. I recommend using a Kanban board for this with project statuses. You can also choose to repeat the same highlights or schedule multiple highlights over a number of days that build off of each other. So if you have a big presentation, you can schedule on Monday, you're going to be doing research for the presentation. On Tuesday, you're going to be outlining the slides. On Wednesday, you're going to be putting in the text. On Thursday, you're going to be making the graphs. And on Friday, you're going to practice presenting. You can also do what the authors call stack rank your life, which is basically you take a sheet of paper and you write down your priorities in life. And then you choose what is the most important one, second most important one, and you rewrite the list based on this rank of your priorities. And then you start with the first one, and that's your highlight for the first day. The second one would be your highlight for the second day, and so on. Okay, so you've gotten rid of your to-do list, and you've scheduled your highlight for 1 to 2 hours in the morning at a time when you know you don't have any meetings. Now, Your boss still wants you to finish all of your other tasks, and you can't really do just one thing in a workday. How do you deal with that? Genius of the highlight is that it doesn't have to be the only thing you do that day. It's just meant to orient your day around something and to help decrease stress, because you know that as long as you get that highlight done, you have had a successful working day, no matter what else happens. And if everything goes into disarray and if the rest of the day is spent just doing pointless meetings, you have still done something of value. But the other tasks really aren't going away. So there are ways to implement these other tasks and not forget about them, while also not feeling too intimidated by your to-do list. Method number 1 is the might-do list. You have a list of things that is kind of like a to-do list, but you don't feel obligated to do all of them. They're just things that you might do. So here you would write all of the tasks that you have to complete in the next week, in the next 2 weeks or so, and everything that you could also be working on if you have free time. And you just list them out as small actionable bullet points. And then when you finish your highlight and you find that you have some time, you just look at the list and you pick whatever you like. Another one is a burner list. So you take a sheet of paper and on the left-hand side, you put one most important project. You can only pick one. This is probably your highlight, and you write out the sub-steps. Then you divide the paper into 2 columns, and on the right-hand column, you put your second most important project and some tasks. And then on the bottom, you make a kitchen sink, where you write out all the other random tasks or other random parts of the same projects or other projects that you can't really get to. And so you start out by completing the left-hand column, then if you're free, you can do the second project, and only then you would get to the small tasks. This way, you will not feel overwhelmed seeing an endless list of to-dos. You have focus, and you can focus on just one thing at a time, taking it easy. If coming up with a highlight is a little too difficult and you still fear that you're not going to perfectly check off everything of your to-do list and that will make you a failure, I would recommend that you watch my video on perfectionism, where I talk about how to befriend these inner tendencies of yours and to use them to your advantage. A link will be right here and then on the end screen right now. Thank you for watching. I hope this helped, and stay awesome. Bye-bye!